wasn't sure if we were recording
like
now,
that.
but yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
cool. So,
so
we have a special guest with us. We have Ramon. We got Will Schmitz. Sorry, Ramon, I don't know your last name.
No, it's all good. It's Rodriguez, Ramon Rodriguez. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's get started now. Did you both go to SHASy?
Yeah, I was there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ramon, you said you joined in 7th grade. What year was that? Do you remember?
Yes, sir. That would have been 2008.
8.
Summer of 2008.
Okay.
And I remember that was right before
everything hit the fans.
Right before everything. All of the things hit all of the fans.
Yeah, a few months actually. It was like less than half. Yeah, it was less than a year.
And the way I found out, so this is funny. I think y'all mentioned this at one of your guys' one of y'all's episodes. It was like one of the founders' feast days. I forget which. I don't know if it was his baptism or like his birthday, whichever one. But we were supposed to celebrate it, and then it was just like a normal mass and normal breakfast. And like all the other apostolics and pre-candidates were all like, what's going on? Like, this is supposed to be a feast day. And like, no one just had any idea really what was going on. Yeah. So that was kind of like the first inklings we had that something was up.
Oh, wow. They must have, because I feel like they communicated that to us in late January. Like almost a year after he had died. I feel like it was January, early February, where they were like, hey, by the way, he did some things, which is before his birthday and baptism, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Significantly.
Yeah.
So if they didn't tell you by his birthday, they really weren't going to tell you ever.
Yeah, really.
I don't remember, Jacob, you might remember this better. I don't know if it was different for apostolics and pre-candidates, but I think I found out from my parents. And I think their thing was like the parents should tell them or something. I don't remember though.
They did it super ass backwards for us. Looking back, I honestly couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you what the feast day was if there is one. I don't remember any of that stuff anymore. But it was definitely weird. It's like they hinted at it, but we definitely found out more from parents or someone else who heard from their parents.
Yeah,
it was ass backwards though.
Will, did you join the same year?
No, I joined in 9th grade, which was 2012.
Okay.
And I think Ramon would have been, what grade were you in, Ramon? Like 10th grade at the time, probably?
I would have been doing my first senior year. Yeah.
Because
that was the year that they decided to go from having high school in 3 years to 4 years. And we were the lucky beneficiaries of that change.
You got an extra year.
They got the gray sweaters too. They had like a different sweater.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to see a picture of that.
Yeah, it sounds like an upgrade.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
What kind of pants?
I think the gray Jedi coats now. Is that right? Like they have like blazers or something?
I think so. Yeah, they've done
pants.
People have
what pants went with the gray sweater? I got to know what color pants.
Black. They were black.
Nice.
Black.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
outfit.
a nice. Oh my
that's
god,
a nice
it was
outfit.
Good. It was good.
Love it.
It was hot.
Yeah, I bet. But outside the sun, in the winter is probably nice.
Of course. Yeah.
It's a good combo.
I will say
winter.
In the years that I was there, they're really good in the summer about polos.
Yeah.
I mean, you wear the sweater for mass and breakfast, and then after that, you go straight polo, until night prayers.
I think we just wore the polo under the sweater.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the move.
Yeah,
that was the dirtbag move. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was always a thing though, because it would be like, oh, I don't have any clean hard colors. I have to wear my polos. You'd be like, bro.
Well, and hard collars couldn't handle the sweat like a polo could.
Oh no, you go through so many of those shirts in a year, man.
Here's the question: do any of you guys still call your shirts hard collars?
Yeah, I do.
So me and Will,
I hadn't heard that word in a long time.
Walk into JCPenney, I'd like to see your hard collar section.
Give me the hardest collar shirts you have.
it can handle sweat, that's a bonus.
They look at you like, the
That's like, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're probably about to say the same thing. We were just the other day. Will was over here at my place, and we were just like chatting about like the terminology, like the weird things we would say that like no one else would say. And we were trying to think of stuff, but we couldn't come up with a ton. There's a bunch though. We were talking about was it second table?
Second
Yeah,
table.
remember that one?
Table.
This was like all the waiters who were like the waiters at the beginning of the meal would have a table at the end of the meal with like, and it was kind of just free range. You just kind of threw all of the food that was being served onto this one table, and then everyone just kind of sat down and just had fun. Second table was always the best.
Yeah, because you did a little work, you did your time, and then you get to you're outside of community having fun. Yeah, we just had first waiter, second waiter, but we would eat in the same like our assigned spots.
Yeah, I don't remember it being exciting in New Hampshire, like to be a waiter for any reason.
No, it sucked.
Yeah, it was always exciting. Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think we had like 3 shifts of waiters, right?
But y'all had like 5 people at the school, right? Like it's really funny. Like how do you?
They're all waiters.
Yeah,
everybody works.
No, you're getting us mixed up with Cornwall.
R.I.P.
What was your class size then?
So, but can we talk about that though? Like when Cornwall closed, and then like when ICAS closed. I know like y'all weren't at like the apostolic schools and all. I don't know y'all even still in the Legion when those things happened?
No.
Spencer, you weren't in the Legion when they closed ICAS?
I left in 2011. Had they closed it by then? I don't feel like they had.
No, I think it was like 2014 or 2015.
They closed it my senior year is when they closed it. So I was there when all the ICAS people made the trek over to Sacred Heart.
Really? Yeah. Interesting.
So I was at Sacred Heart when they closed Colfax, and we had like this influx of Californians. And I don't know about like how things were at ICAS, but like at Sacred Heart, we would like talk about the other apostolic schools, and we'd be like, oh, they're at ICAS, they're like, I don't know, they must be like super holy or something. Like they're just kind of weird. They're over there doing the whole thing. And then in Cornwall, they're Canadians, so like whatever. And then Colfax just had this like rep of just like they were just in the wild. They were like fighting bears. Like we didn't know what the hell they were doing, but like they were just doing their thing.
Did Father Bayeras go around to see y'all and talk about stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, our brother. Yeah, because he would always be the one telling us the stories about California.
Yeah, and he would share like blurry pictures and be like, "Look, it's a bear." Like, okay, whatever. Whatever you say, Father.
You guys have talked about Father Victor quite a bit too, which I have so much respect for that man. You've said it time and time again. I just had to put my 2 cents in. He's the greatest dude ever.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
my hero.
Yeah. One of the few, I think, that after everything that's come out, I feel like, I like him more now than I did when I was there. And I wish I appreciated him more when I was there. But he's a cool guy.
Shit in the kitchen, though.
He gave me some shit in the kitchen. He did.
You have your reasons.
He gave me bad cooking advice, and I never lived it down. And
was it something about the onions and the eggs?
Yeah, he said don't put don't mix sweet and salty, and I'm like, come on, that's obviously you mix sweet and salty.
Yeah,
like I don't know about what they do in Mexico, but here in the US of A, we do things right.
And eggs aren't exactly sweet; they're also savory. I mean,
I think the onions are considered sweet.
Really?
Oh, really?
I guess
it's bitter.
Yeah,
sweet onions.
Like caramelize them and whatnot.
Yeah. You fry them up a little bit.
A little red wine in there. And...
No,
you wouldn't have access to that. That wouldn't
be good. I don't know if you guys had a professional chef. We had a pretty cool chef. We had one.
I wouldn't put professional.
Okay. He made it work.
Chef Mark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chef Mark.
He's still there, by the way.
He's still there.
Really?
He's
still kicking it.
What a trooper!
Wow. Got Got my culinary degree in Wisconsin.
You know what I think it is? Like he's like one of these. I don't know if you guys have heard of these people, but they're mushroom hunters. Like they have
yeah.
I can't remember what the name of the mushroom is.
Morels.
He has a little
He did psychedelics.
Oh, he would find morels.
Possibly.
Different type of mushroom hunter.
Oh, gotcha.
Morels are
I think he has
It's
this
huge
little
out
patch.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that because he would put the morel mushrooms, which are supposedly like they're really expensive and whatnot. Like he would go out and find them, and then he would put them on our pizza, like our Friday night pizza.
Oh, that's
and
pretty
it'd just be like, we'd be like, like 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds, like, what the hell is this? And you're like, oh, these are mushrooms. And
This is
like,
$600 pizza, but we didn't know.
Yeah. He's putting gold flakes on him too, and you guys didn't know.
Mystery berries.
Our chef went to the Culinary Institute of America, which is actually up the road from me in New York. And he was professionally trained. He was really good at stuff, but he would laugh when like I would do stuff because he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just making whatever." And he's like, "Here's a faster way to do that." And he would show me, and I'd be like, "I can't do what you just did."
You got tips from a pro.
I got free advice from a pro.
Do you use any of those tips now to make your own stuff, or
probably I don't remember anything
subconsciously
specifically, but subconsciously some of my skills.
I wonder what he thought about the ingredients he had to use on hand.
Oh yeah, he had some choice words. But,
he might have been underwhelmed.
He was very he couldn't order a whole lot, and
right.
The budget was awful, but he made some pretty cool stuff. Considering. Do you remember the chef that we had before that? The old Polish guy? Maybe he was there. Maybe he left. Anyway.
I can just imagine him coming in like his first day, like, do y'all have some foie gras? And they're like, well, we have Uncrustables if you, like.
We've got a rare snack from Brazil.
Semperars.
Did you guys get weird candies out there from like Mexico and like Paraguay? Like you thought like, oh, I thought they had people that were starving there that needed these candies, but apparently not.
We got crates of Intamin's donuts.
Yum.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Old Orchard juice that most of it was spoiled.
Nice.
So I remember we got it was when I was in 7th grade. We got this shipment of like jelly packets, that you would have at, and it was
Bony Mammon. Bony
Mammon. Yes. No. Okay. Well, it was Bone Mama or whatever, but we called it Bony Mammon. And we got this in 7th grade, and when I was a senior, we were on one box left, and like the seniors, we got together and we had like this whole ceremony. Like the last box of Bony Mammon, we're opening it and we're finishing this. It was like we got like that. We had some other stuff. I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah, it would come in waves. It would just, you'd have like random shit. Like I remember one of the big like things we were crazy about was fruit roll-ups. We got like a pallet of Valentine's Day fruit roll-ups. And every work day, every hike, every like any time you could possibly, any snack time, it was just fruit roll-ups. Like
it makes me wonder if the CEO of Costco came from the Legion. Just so let's buy a pallet of that. Why? Oh, it's great.
Why not?
That sounds lit.
We had a ceremony for the end of our Semperars, which was it was like a knockoff Kit Kat from Brazil. Not as good, not nearly as good.
Not nearly.
But we had them for over a year, I think. And they were awful.
Was it like who brought them in? Like how did you even
we got them from the food bank, I think. I don't know how the food bank. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
I mean,
like benefactors, maybe? I don't know.
I have no clue.
I would hope it's not benefactors giving us like weird.
It had to be like a full tanker truck,
expired items,
like a full barge of Semperars, because we would eat them every snack. And some snacks it would just be Semperars. It'd be like, look, we got to get rid of them.
Some
You have like
benefactors,
That's
I'm gonna
interesting
make their
that they
day.
never really explained how that happened. Like that, no one ever told us
Yeah.
really where that came from.
And we didn't question it either. It was
No.
just okay. Here we go.
Yeah,
Every day,
yeah.
let's get it.
I mean, I was in the kitchen and they never told me, so I
Got my bathing suit on. Let's get this day started.
Oh, dude.
start with the Christ our King. Let's go.
Yes.
Sing to a statue and get moving here for the souls.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that, but the rancor breath you would smell during those morning singing sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Saturday mornings?
Yeah.
So in ICUS, did y'all have like your shower stall?
No.
It was no. I mean, in Indiana we didn't either. Like it wasn't.
I know what you mean,
fine,
like informally, like.
But it was like everyone knew, like, yo, like
No.
this is Ramon shower stall.
No,
Not that I can think of. There were
I
too
can't
many
really
people.
claim it. Yeah, it's too much. You could try. I would try to go for the last one on the left, but
people had preferences.
you didn't know if you would get it.
Sure.
But you would. I mean, the odds of
you got 15 minutes. I mean,
yeah,
you're not. Now, what year did y'all enter Cheshire? Y'all both made it through Cheshire a little bit, right?
Yeah. So I entered Cheshire. Yeah. No. I entered in 2014.
2014. Okay. Well,
Yeah, and I was there for 2 years.
Okay, so you finished novitiate.
2018. Yeah, well, yeah, like it was May 4th. I'm never gonna forget it. May 4th was the day I left. So
that's like September's professions.
Yeah.
So you left. Okay. So you were like, no, I'm out.
At the beginning of the summer, I was just like, I kind of had enough a little bit, and they kind of kicked me out too. They were like, "You're not making up your mind. Like, we need you to figure out what you're trying to do."
Oh shit! Who was your superior? If you don't mind my
Joseph, what's his name? Probably Joseph Brickner.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I had him for a little bit too. Yeah,
Brickner, man.
Kind of an odd fella, but not bad.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
His Spirit of the Legions, man, I would pass out. I was really tough.
I had this thing. I don't know if you guys noticed this, and I feel bad for saying this, but I have to bring it up.
Sure.
He would do this thing where he would always say, right? Like he would say a sentence, right?
Yep.
And I remember I was just mad one day, so I counted the amount of times he did that in the Spirit of the Legion class.
Oh God.
And it was like 30 times.
Yeah.
And
they're only an hour class too.
Right. So it's, I don't know, once a minute. Or once every other minute. But then I ended up bringing it up to Father Edward Hopkins, who was the leader of the candidacy, just because I thought it was such a cool stat. I said, this is remarkable. And then I remember him being like, "This is your superior, William. Why are you talking about your superior like this?" And I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
No jokes today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did y'all both have the same superior? Ramon, you have him too?
Yeah, I had Joseph Brickner both years of humanities. Are we gonna get into superiors? Because that's the whole thing. Like,
wait, novitiate. you didn't have him for novitiate. You just humanities.
Oh, both years of novitiate. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we can get into whatever you want.
Yeah, we can get
whatever.
Right in. Let's get.
We can always edit out anything if you say something and you want it taken back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or
it'll be work, and I don't like working.
Well, I
but
feel
I'll do
like I don't know. Yeah.
What do you got to say, Ramon? What's on your mind?
Is that your guys' thing now, that you like censor things and you edit things?
No, not really.
No,
We've censored maybe one or two things, and that was at the behest of a guest. And
okay, that makes sense. I think
we did it pretty seamlessly too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't really notice any edits or anything in your last. I don't know when it would have been, but
everything is pre-game.
Yeah, I think.
So I will say this, Sorry, Will and I are obviously, huge fans. Some people, they dream of getting on Rogan or whatever. I dream of getting on the co-founder.
Keep the bar high, guys.
We've been plotting it. Yeah.
No, but in all honesty, I love what you guys do, because I know you guys have talked about it being like, kind of somewhat therapeutic for people to like listen to, or like guests come on, but like honestly for me it's like it's an outlet for me to be able to bring up to other guys that I knew when I was in the Legion, and to be like, just like, you know, because it's a conversation starter. Like, oh, you know what I was listening to the other day on this podcast? X, Y, or Z, you know? So I can be like, oh, you know what I was listening to the other day on this podcast? They were talking about Father David Steffi. Like, what was up with him? You know?
Oh, you guys dodged a bullet there, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Enough said.
Yeah, there are rumors I hear about an article coming out, but let's just leave that at that.
Okay, yeah, no, we'll leave it at that.
It's mysterious.
Yeah. Ooh.
Let's see. Dang, you guys are definitely the what's the word? The latest. You've been in the Legion the latest out of everyone we've talked to.
So I left,
like most recently, you mean? Like
yeah.
So I left. I just had my 1 year anniversary, actually.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So fairly recent. I mean, it feels like a long time ago, I guess, just because of the trajectory my life has taken since then. And in a lot of ways, I guess, like the psychological distance, if you want to say that, or the mental distance that I've put between like me and that.
Reprogramming too. That's a word.
Yeah, the reprogramming. That's a
I
great
would say
way
that pretty fairly.
What's your anniversary, Will? Are you going on 3 years then?
May 4th, 2018. So yeah, this May it'll be. Will that be 4 years this May?
4 years. Okay.
Wow. That's
Congrats,
so recent.
man. We should celebrate or something.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah, there are plenty of ways to celebrate too. All you have to do is just, be happy and say, well, I'm not there.
Just
or
remember,
people still there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ramon, what are you going to say about superiors? You kind of dodged you
No,
you had something to say, then you dodged it. I kind of want to hear.
Like I could say so many things. Should we do like highs and lows or like best and worst or whatever? I mean, like
yeah, we got
rank
time.
your superior.
Yeah, let's rank them.
Power rank them. Top superiors, go.
No, I don't know. I mean, y'all like because I've heard a lot of comments and a lot of people saying a lot of different things, about like Father David Steffi and stuff, and you said just a few minutes ago I dodged a bullet, and to a certain extent, like yeah, that's true, and I feel like in like Father Darren and Jacob, like you can speak to this. I don't know what your experience with Father David was, Father Darren, sorry, Jacob, but like for me, he was just like it was great. He was awesome. Like
I love
awesome.
Darren.
Yeah, Darren. Yeah, thank you. It just kind of rolls off the tongue,
Pretty sure he's married now.
Oh
yes,
yeah, he's married. I was 100% set on crashing his wedding, but the date came and went, and I was
like,
there.
wait, does his wife make him call him Brother Darren or Father Darren?
You'd be surprised.
Oh, the role play scenarios.
Yeah, it could be fun. Brother Darren.
I wonder if he listens to this.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But
yeah. Oh, that was maybe too far, but all right.
That's okay. He can come on and defend his honor if he wants.
Sure.
Oh, shit.
Please
An open invite.
I think we all here like him.
Oh no, yeah.
Or at least their family was. They're all like we know. Spencer and I know not Darren, Morgan. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He was a good kid.
Goliath.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Backstrom?
Yeah.
Oh, Weisbrod.
Oh, Weisbrod.
Oops.
Darren Backstrom was awesome too.
Yeah,
though.
we're talking about
he was cool too.
Darren's
He's awesome.
I was a little bit confused because I'm like, I didn't know he was ordained, but okay.
I heard of Weisbrod, but I never met him.
No, Weisbrod. Yeah. No,
okay.
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was there for us.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he fit in with us, which was good. Unlike other superiors that we had. But I don't know what, after I left, I know it all switched up.
And I was with him for 5 years.
y'all.
Yeah, and I think Willis, you were with him for what? 2 years?
I had him for a year. 9th grade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was with me from 7th grade up until I was 17. So like, I mean, like in some ways, when I was leaving Sacred Heart, I was like, it made me think, I was like, this guy knows me like better than my dad knows me.
Yeah.
In some ways, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that, I was like, that's kind of weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's the nature of the beast to a certain extent. Like, I don't know.
That kind of like vulnerability we were expected to have with like our superiors and spiritual directors is kind of alarming in certain respects, where they didn't have the kind of credentials to really handle it, I guess, like a therapist might. Just my 2 cents on that, but yeah. But at the same time, it's like, and some of us lucked out.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, especially like someone like Darren, who I think, you know, didn't expect to be put in that position and was kind of just like ended up there. And I think he did the best that he could have been expected to do in that position, you know? But yeah, I mean, like, and it's like, it's a hindsight thing, maybe like graduation goggles. Cause I definitely remember like my clashes with him and the times when it would be like, you know, we go for like spiritual direction or like whatever. And he'd be like, so how are you doing? And I'd be like, good. 5 minutes later, he'd be like, how are your classes? I'd be like, good. And it would be like 20 minutes would go by and like, I would say like 5 words, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely one of the better superiors I had over the course of my lifetime in the Legion.
Yeah. Was he with you from the beginning till the end?
Only in my last year, in my senior year, we switched rectors and Father Ronald came in, Ronald Conklin. Yeah, he was like younger. He had just been ordained.
Okay.
Will knows him a lot better because he was with him for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, Father Ronald's really cool. Father Ronald's, I would say, probably my favorite legionary.
Wow.
Just out of all of them that I know, he's just the most relatable. He's like an older brother kind of guy.
That's cool.
But back to that parents point, Spencer and Ramon, you're talking about that when Sacred Heart and Icus merged, I remember there was a really big clash of like the cultures of the two schools, just because the parents were different. Like it was just kind of, it's like, it was really like like picture, you know, like you're moving with your stepdad and it was literally that bad. Like it was just like so different between how people handled themselves and like how they respected like the rules, I guess. Because with Darren kind of as the origin of the school, it was a lot more just, I don't know, it was definitely not very strict in some ways, but and just really fun and kind of high energy. But then Icus came in, and I remember they had a lot of like
buzzkill.
The guys were a little just more like fine tuned and like just intense about some of the rules, and I was like, what is this? So
we were definitely up around the edges. That's for sure.
Oh, I wish I could have seen this. That sounds hilarious. Did y'all make fun of him for being like uptight or?
Oh, definitely. I'm trying to think back.
Figure out your ass.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like I'm trying to.
Fucking nerds are shining their shoes. Or like,
I'm trying to think what was the main.
Dump them into a locker.
Yeah, but like somehow very charitably.
Well, no, because their entire livelihood, their entire life fit into that locker. So you know, wasn't space for them inside there. Their entire
if they cleaned it nice enough and they were a dork, you could definitely fit them in.
Nice.
I'm trying to think back to what was actually the main point of contention with like between everybody, because like other than just like different experiences, I would say maybe the main one was what to do for a hike, because that's a big deal. Like hikes are, you know, you can't just disregard hikes. Like those are a big part of the life. It's the only time you get to go out and do stuff. And you guys, the Icus kids, were super used to like piling into a bus, showing up to a mountain, and then just hiking up and down this mountain. And like
that was not our thing.
And I remember Sacred Heart, we literally had this tradition called hobo hikes, and we would literally just, I swear to God, I once packed a suitcase full of fruit roll-ups, and I drug it. Me and another kid drug it around this entire lake out the back of the property with like a bunch of other kids kind of just following around. And we just walked around this lake with a backpack full of snacks or a suitcase full of snacks, and then ditched the suitcase and just munched on snacks and called it a hike, you know?
Wow.
And then the Icus kids came in and they were like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is not a hike. So that was probably one of the main, like, I guess.
We haven't even done 10 spiritual communions yet. What's happening?
Spiritual communions,
That's one of the things. Because like the bus rides too, you know, they're like, all right, when are we doing a spiritual communion? And we're like,
what is that?
Like, we definitely did them,
sure,
but not like that much, you know?
Right.
So it was little things like that, which are really funny.
There was always the buzzkill on the Icus hikes who was like, hey, you want to do a spiritual communion? Kind of like awkward, shy voice. Like, no, dude, we really don't.
It really was like, there was like 7 people in a 30 people community who were doing the spiritual communions, and like you couldn't say no. You'd be like, oh yeah, me too.
But you couldn't say no though, because you would have been the bad guy.
Yeah, you would have been the devil.
No to Jesus, really?
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Not in this bus.
We were talking about something funny, and like now we gotta, break off and talk about Jesus again.
Now I'm curious, Will. What did your superiors think you were doing that was like you're not committed enough? Like at the end there, and then Novicia, I'm really curious, like what they thought was your.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say the main one was definitely Father Joseph told me this point blank. He was like, you haven't really talked about becoming a priest at all in like our time together. I was just focused on like becoming a better person and like following closely with the rules of what was going on and like being my best self in that space, but I didn't really have it connected to something down the line. I wasn't really vibing with that long-term vision as much. And so he was like, you're just not talking about, you're not excited about being a priest. You just want to be you. And I was like, oh. So he's like, you need to go find something else that's not this, because you're not really talking about it like you want to do it long-term. And I was like, oh, okay. So
wow,
that was kind of the main. It was really cool of him to say that, because it really opened my eyes.
Oh, so you actually agreed, like when you thought about it, you're like, I guess I don't really want to do that.
Well, it was a relief, bro, because I was like, oh, I don't have to be a priest. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I was thinking the best version of myself was automatically about to be a priest.
Right.
Even if I wasn't talking about it, it was just implied, from the space and the way we dressed and the way what we talked about and stuff.
And if you had doubts, you would just tell yourself like, oh, but this is my cross to bear type thing, or like,
exactly. Like, just suck it up. Like, this is what the best thing a man can do for people or whatever. And then as soon as he told me I didn't actually have to do that and I could stop trying to fit myself into this box, I was like, I wish you would have told me that sooner, first of all. But second of all, like, thank you. I'm out.
Yeah, I definitely can relate with that. I wish you would have told me that.
I went 2 years without talking to my family, asshole.
But yeah, that was the personal journey of it too, I guess. But yeah.
Cool, I had a kind of a relatable experience. I don't know if I would say it was similar or not, but a relatable experience, but in Rome. And I will say, I don't think any of you guys know this priest, but Father Ignacio Sari, he's the rector over there in Rome right now, and he's just doing phenomenal things, just changing things in just the best way possible. And myself and some other guys that I know, like, he would just straight up be like, he would be talking to us and he'd be like, look, like, do you like actually want to be here? And we'd be like, well, I like, in my case, it'd be like, I don't know, like, I'm not really sure. And he'd be like, well, then what are you doing here? Like, and so it was like, he would very much put like the question in our minds, because he realized, I think a lot of us came from like Cheshire, and that, even when I was still in Cheshire, there was a lot of times that kind of like, oh, just like keep persevering, kind of just keep going forward. If you have doubts, like that's, it's just kind of like a temptation. Like there was that mentality there.
Yeah.
A lot of times, even when I was still in Cheshire. And, you know, thank God, like Will had a different experience, but that was my experience to a large extent when I was there. And so I kind of kept going and then like, was like, well, I'm not really sure, but you know, again, like this is a good place to be. Like, you know, I'm whatever, fighting my demons and saving souls and stuff. And like I got there with him and he was like, look, like if you don't really want to be here, you really probably shouldn't be here. Like that was the long and short of what he told me. And I was like, oh, damn.
Deuces.
No, but for real, I was, you know, like, and to have your superior, like bring that up and tell you that when like for a long time, you've been hearing like kind of the opposite from your superiors is so, it's like, it's so freeing. You're like, oh my God, like this is my decision. Like, it's not like, I don't just have to kind of keep like moving forward, you know, like, I don't know.
This is such a common experience that it's like alarming to me how many of us were like, no, this is, you know, if you have doubts, like it's, you know, keep going. And I'm glad the Legion seems to have updated its policy and mentality and stuff. But for most of us, we will probably always carry some of that wound with us, you know, of the whole like, or the trauma or whatever. I think even now I still struggle with like, kind of that there's certain things I have to do in my life, or kind of that concept kind of kicks in here and there. I have to kind of catch it and be like, oh no, I can do whatever I want in my life. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Or that you're trying to please someone who is just, it's no one. You're not trying to please anyone, but you know, you still feel like you have to do something to please someone and you can't enjoy life.
I think it, for like, I don't know if you guys relate to this, but I think it goes back to the idea that this is the best thing a man can do with his life. That really messed me up. Like, I really dislike that thought, but
I do too.
That's the thought I went in with. And that thought, like, until, and it was me leaving that thought that actually helped me leave the Legion. So I think that's the root of it for a lot of people, especially myself.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, in relation to that, I don't know. Do any of y'all know? Well, Willis does for sure. Jacob might remember Daniel Visser.
Yeah.
I know the name.
No. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know him or you don't, whatever. It's not a big deal, but like, him and I, like, were, you know, like we were good friends, et cetera, et cetera. And, he went to novitiate. She probably, I don't know if he should have, but that's neither here nor there. He went to novitiate and I was still in, you know, Sacred Heart and kind of like, and so we went to visit Cheshire. And, you know, he was in full on novice mode. So he was like talking to me about like the vocation and like stuff like that. And he was like, you know, like there's better things in life. I like distinctly remember him telling me that, like, there's better things in life because like, you know, like when we were both in the pre-candidacy, we would like talk about like girls and stuff like that. And so like his whole thing was like, there's better things in life. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, there's better things in life. Well, you know, long and short of it, he leaves, you know, and so I remember when he was leaving, he was like, there's better things in life, man, for you. And I was like, well, okay, but love the man to death. But it's just kind of that same mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like that mentality, you know, like that. I think it just is the same thing, you guys, you know, that we're talking about, and it is like it can be positively harmful, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So who'd you have in humanities as a superior? Was it Father Christopher?
Me?
Yeah. Oh wait, you were in Rome for that, right?
No, I was in Cheshire for humanities. I had Father David Daly my first year.
Okay.
And Father Kevin Meehan my second year. Father David Daly is he's not cut out to be a superior. Let's just say that.
Yeah, not a bad priest.
It's not in the stars for him to be a formator. He's good at some other things. You know, there's a lot of people who love him, and I respect that. But he did not help me really at all. I remember I went to him at the very end of the year, and I just could not connect with him. You know, I could not connect with him at any level during the entire year. And I go to him at the very end of the year, and I'm like, look, Father David, and I'm in tears. Like, this is I know that because, you know, I knew he was switching positions and stuff, and I knew this last time I was going to talk to him. It took like all the balls I had to like go to him and say this, but I was like, you have not understood me on any level this entire year, man. And he was just like, what? And I was like, yeah, no, like not at all. And again, like he, you know, he's good at, you know, some things. Like he's particularly suited for certain responsibilities, but I really feel formator was not one of them. And so like,
yeah,
that was one thing that really, that entire first year of humanities, like, you know, he didn't intend to, I think. Like I like to attribute to people like the best intentions, but it really, yeah, it was not great. It was not great. And that contributed to a large part to that. And Father Kevin Meehan was like worlds apart. Like he helped me really, really a lot in that second year of humanities. So those were my two superiors, Father David and Father Kevin Meehan.
Yeah, I think Father Kevin was a superior for a while at that point, you know, of different communities and different ages.
Yeah,
so he
you know,
kind of
like,
knew the system a little bit and how people work and, you know, what to say and how to help.
Yeah.
And I think he was, you know, he was pretty high up too. I mean, you know, as far as like, someone looking from the outside looking in, they would see him as someone who's high up. I had a little experience with Father David Daly. Actually, I wasn't there.
Okay.
But this was at my family's house. My family lived close to Thornwood, like 10-15 minutes away. So when the legionaries were there, they would visit a lot. And one time they were visiting, and my grandpa was there, he's rest in peace, but he was crazy. And I was at ICAS, and Father David said, "Oh, you know, your son's great. You know, we're so happy to be, you know, that he's at our school, or whatever, and this and that." And he was like saying like how much he like knows me and, you know, whatever. My grandpa was like, "What's his name?" Father David stops and looks at him and says, "Tim." And my grandpa's like, "No, it's Jim." Like, oops.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, that happened.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he put his foot.
So maybe
in his
it
mouth.
wasn't so much he couldn't relate, he just had a memory problem. Like he couldn't remember the last thing anybody said to him. Oh geez.
But that goes back to your point, Spencer. It's like, how can you expect these guys to even be like counselor type of, like, they're not qualified, like they're not trained for that, you know, to be a support through this type of a journey in some cases. So yeah, like obviously some people are better than others at it, but like I kind of feel for those guys too. They're kind of put into a really tough spot where they're trying to counsel people through big life decisions. Like,
right,
it's got to be tough on there.
Well, I mean, yes and no, because I feel like if you have to know your limitations. Like if you don't know your limitations, that's on you. So if you aren't the type of person who knows like you're not ready for that, like, and you don't speak up and say that, I mean, I'm not speaking necessarily about Father David in this instance, but like just in general, like if you don't know that you're not the person for that position, you don't speak up and be like, I'm not the person for this, like that's on you.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think the Legion is starting to do things a little bit differently with how they organize or train their seminarians. So I think from what I understand from like the two people I've talked to who are still in, they have like, you can train more in academia, or you can train more like as an apostolate type worker. And, you know, you can choose that path, and one takes a little bit longer for ordination and one doesn't. But I mean, that's kind of cool. I think if they get back to that, where they have more people in teaching positions and, you know, theological pursuits, rather than trying to make everyone a superior in this corporate machine, I think it works out for everyone. But I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to do like some ride-alongs with the people who were doing apostle, like the priests who were out doing apostle. That could have been interesting to like see, oh, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Like just, you know, to get that kind of clarity really quickly. You would think that kind of thing, because you really didn't. I only knew the legionaries who like met me and recruited me in the school. Like those are the only ones out in the field, so to speak, that I even like kind of knew what they did day to day.
That's a good point. I remember we went we went to Philadelphia. I don't even know what year it was. It was my first or second year of novitiate. We went to Philadelphia, and that was like a big deal. Like, ooh, we get to see legionaries in action. And I was like, why isn't this every weekend? Like, why, you know, or at least once a month, you know,
right.
Like, this is what I'm deciding to do or not. So this would be kind of helpful to know the context. But I got to go at least once. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was spoiled because I had Thornwood, 10 minutes away, Cheshire an hour away. And so everything, like, we had Conquest at the seminary. So I saw them, every week practically.
It's almost like Catholicism in general kind of has that mentality towards every vocation, though. If you think about it, like, even if you're dating someone that you're seriously considering marrying, they're like, oh, but don't go live with them. Just imagine what it would be like. And then, like, you can have sex with them, but just hope that it is good, because that's the only person you're going to be with for the rest of your life. Just, you're kind of told to just like imagine futures, like in the priesthood. Just imagine it, you get to see a little bit of what they're doing.
Well, it's also don't imagine it. Like,
you're
giving up sex, but don't imagine it.
and then when you're there, you better perform really well.
Well, and then it's like, and then you end up, I mean, in one case or the other, like the priesthood or married life, you end up idealizing it so much that it's like you get there and you're like, the hell is this? This isn't what I had, in mind.
Right. Yeah. Like, it's awkward and weird, and it's not what I expected. Yeah. It's very jarring.
Yeah. That's like what happened to me when I got to Cheshire. I was like, this isn't what I wanted to do. Like, I left in the first month.
You're going on. Yeah.
I wish I had the balls to do that. Sounds like Will and I stuck it out. Like, oh, it'll get better.
I'm gonna find it out.
Eventually.
Maybe I'll stop being gay. Wishful thinking, buddy. Like, you're not. Oh man,
that was my spiritual direction. Yeah, go away. Your feelings will go away.
Oh man,
just a perversion.
Yeah. Amazing. So where are you guys at now? Are y'all do y'all consider yourselves Catholics, or like what's your faith journey like? Or if you feel like sharing, you don't have to, you don't want to.
Yeah, and as much as you want to share, you don't have to.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I don't mind jumping in here. I consider myself a questioning Catholic. I think that's how I define it.
Sure.
So like I nominally, I would still say I'm Catholic. I mean, I'm baptized, and I consider myself to be part of the church, but there's large swaths of the church's teaching that I'm not really sure about, and I'm still kind of on this gray area of like what, why does the church's teaching on sex make sense? Like, does it?
Right.
Doesn't really seem like it does in some cases, most cases, so that's where I would put myself in that.
Sure.
Going to church when I can with work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What do you do for work?
I manage a Chipotle, actually. Yeah.
Hey, love the Chipotle.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm trying to get out though. I'm moving into sales. So that's
good for you.
Fingers crossed that works.
Chipotle?
Commission life.
Yeah, the commish. Trying to get that commish, man.
Dude, it's a rough road, man. Let me tell you.
Dude, yeah.
I'm a salesman right now, but I've been around it a little bit.
Have you worked at Chipotle?
I have not.
Have you been there on a Friday night when you have 6 people for the entire damn store? Like, man, can't get much rougher than that. I tell you what.
Nope.
So yeah, but yeah, like I said, trying to get out, trying to move into sales, and yeah.
Cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah, and then for me, I would say I'm definitely Catholic. Because, well, yeah, the baptism thing, but I guess beyond that, I think I'm not really Catholic in the sense of I just like to go to church on Sundays, because I'm kind of in this, like, even in the Legion, I was kind of on this path of like world religions, I really like world religions and kind of figuring out what a belief system is and like what's Buddhism like. You know, I remember when I left, I went to those like Protestant churches trying to just see like what are people doing, like what.
Yeah,
I went to a Lutheran church, which honestly is like, it's so close to Catholicism that it's like stupid. They did like this, the mass was kind of the same thing, and I was like, what do you like? Anyways, that's a whole other thing. but the point,
why even have another religion?
Yeah, exactly. Like, but so I'm kind of on this world religions kind of kick, and I listen to, I don't know if you guys listen to Sam Harris. I listen to him every once in a while. He's kind of like a mindfulness, you know, kind of a Zen Buddhism kind of guy. There's this guy, John Vervaeke, who's kind of in that, he's like a very like spiritual, kind of the raw spiritualism and not like a religion. So I would say I'm more of like that, where I'm like, I just like spirituality as a concept because I believe that's a human need or like a human component.
Yeah.
And then Catholicism just happens to be kind of what I grew up in, and I like the mass enough to where I feel like it keeps me spiritual enough.
Yeah.
I don't really pray, well, definitely not as much as novitiate or anything like that.
But who does?
I don't really pray. Yeah, I don't really pray regularly, but I like this. I like spirituality. I'll say it like
that's
that.
cool. I love Buddhism too, man. I'm jiving with that shit hardcore these days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everything I read about it, I'm like, well, that makes sense.
I was gonna say, do you go to like services or anything, or?
I did for a little bit. Maybe I just haven't found one that I connect with really well, because the one I went to was like really long, a lot of chanting, and I was just kind of not feeling it.
I went. Yeah. So like I said, when I got out, I lived in Minnesota at the time. I'm in Kansas City area now, but I noticed this like temple in the middle of a cornfield out in like rural Minnesota, and I was like, what the heck? So I like biked to it one day, and it was like a Buddhist temple, I guess, and there was just like people doing yoga out in the front of it. So like we just did some yoga, and like we talked about like spirituality and stuff. So I'm like, Buddhism is pretty cool because I feel like they're definitely on the part of spirituality which I like, which is the just kind of the meditation, kind of the quiet, kind of centering yourself kind of spirituality, instead of the this is how we organize our society type of like,
yeah,
we need to build a civilization around this. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not as huge on that, but
yeah. Sounds like y'all both personalized your faith, your spirituality and stuff, and that's really cool to see, man. Like, it's really cool. Yeah, I just started hot yoga too, and fucking love it. It's so great.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely need it. So
yeah.
Wait, what makes it hot? What's the difference between yoga and hot yoga?
I guess they just crank the temperature up in the studio to 95.
Oh, it's like
that's
literally it.
Okay.
Like it's just a hot room.
It's temperature hot.
It's yoga in a sauna. Yeah. Like,
okay.
Well, there's
odd.
this yoga studio like just right down the road from where I live, and I've been kind of low key trying to go over there, just honestly just to meet people. Like, I'm sure there's like a lot of chicks that go there, you know, do yoga. So
gorgeous chicks.
The name is deceiving, I will say, but yeah.
And men, yeah. Yeah, it's
and men, yeah,
gorgeous people, yeah. Yeah.
Why are you good?
Good time.
Oh man.
Yeah, we don't hold back on this podcast. We're really cool. I haven't really done yoga seriously since I was in Korea, because there was a lot more opportunity to do it there. So I just got into it because I needed to do exercise too. But
yeah, wait, I was gonna ask you.
You can't just be pounding sake and going to karaoke every night.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Korea? I keep hearing you referencing that, but I've never actually heard why you went.
So I went to learn the language. I went to a language immersion program. So I would do classes for like 3 or 4 hours a day of just Korean class, with people from all over the world who a lot of times didn't speak English. So it was really good because we only had Korean to communicate in. And then we would go get lunch or dinner together and get smashed. So it was technically for school, but I didn't get any credits for it or anything.
That's so cool.
And it was all because of ICUS. Like, had I not gone to ICUS, I wouldn't have been interested in the first place. But you know, we had half our class was Korean. So
yeah. That's so cool. The Koreans brought so much to the apostolic school. We had our share of Koreans in Sacred Heart too, and like, it was so good to have them. Like, just kind of this I don't know, just this separate vibe that brought like so much to the community. You know, that was really cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, shout out Solomon if you're listening.
Solomon, yes,
dude.
Yeah, I've seen him around on social media.
Yeah, what's he up to?
I don't know what he's up to, but I know he's
on the pod.
Yeah, let's get him on the pod.
Seriously, dude. He one day he came up to me one day and he was like, he always called me Billy, stupid Billy. And he's like, Billy, we're gonna fast. I was like, why? He's like, there's North Koreans that are dying every day. We're gonna fast. And so he was like, I need you to fast with me. So we like one day we decided to go as long as we could without food. while living a full apostolic school life, which is like intense. Did and like we did it on our own initiative, so there was like no superiors were looking out for us and like making sure we had an easier day. It was a full schedule, and then I remember we ended up making it like 2 full days, and then like that night,
2 days in the apostolic school.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. Christ.
You probably stinted your growth or something. Like,
holy cow. But speaking of fasts, okay, Willis, for sure you remember this. Okay, so this is one of my fondest memories of the apostolic school. Okay, so Ash Wednesday, right? You know, like fasting and abstinence, even though we weren't like technically
I remember this.
But we needed to. Yes, you remember.
I know where you're going with this.
You know where this is going. So like, at one point, me and Will, we were on like the same team or whatever, and we had to wash dishes with this guy named Gustavo. What was his last name?
Oh, I can't remember, but yeah,
Gustavo. Whatever. Yeah. So we're like, the 3 of us, me, Will, and Gustavo, we were like washing dishes, and we were like, man, I'm so damn hungry. Like, what? Like, and like we've played recreation, like whatever, once that day, and just had a full day of class and stuff, and we like could only eat whatever it was, 1 meal or something. And so we were like washing dishes at dinner. We're like so hungry. And so we're like, what if we just like got up in the middle of the night and like went out and had like a snack in the pantry? And we all just kind of laughed at it. We're like, yeah, that'd be funny. And then we were like, but wait though, seriously? And then we were all like, yeah, let's definitely do this.
Yeah.
And so like so we all set our alarm, like our watches, 12 o'clock midnight. We all get up in the middle of the night. We go down to the pantry, like, the day after Ash Wednesday, when we've been fasting all day. And we just like feast on like Oreos and like fruit roll-ups and like anything we could get our hands on in the pantry. And we're just down there eating, like, oh my God, yes, finally food.
We thought we were such bad boys. Remember that?
Dude, so like mischievous.
Look at us.
Oh my God, so bad because we had like a midnight snack, right? Like, but
I often wonder how our experience compares to like another, like a normal, quote unquote, normal boarding school. Like, do you think that would be an experience in like another boarding school where they're like, oh, let's be crazy and go? Or would that just be like, okay, yeah, whatever, you're going to get midnight snacks?
I feel like their version of crazy would be a lot different. But
their definition of crazy was a lot different. Yeah. Probably involved drugs and alcohol at least. And driving around.
Some needles and.
So, was that the end of your story, or?
Basically, I mean, I don't want to expose the apostolics.
Yeah,
because we might still be doing this,
Young kings.
Get yours, boys.
It became like a tradition. I don't know. I think you did this after because like then like a couple of guys from my generation, the last night of our senior year, like we got up in the middle of the night and we raided the pantry. We went down to the games room. We just like had a blast. Just like
we snagged a TV from somewhere too. We were like,
oh yes, we took. Where did we get? It was in the.
I think it was in one of the classrooms. We just
should have gone to SHASy.
Yeah, just like literally, just like
and then imagine having
from the
other
class.
kids join. Yeah,
yeah.
Shaz, but also 10 years after we left, like
that's true too. That's true too.
Yeah.
Jacob's like, man, it got better.
it got so much better.
We're pretty free.
Y'all pretty wild too, yeah.
No, I remember you guys being like super free. I remember just like being in class and like looking out the window and like seeing Jacob Bodman just like mowing the soccer field and being just like, what? Like like in the middle of class?
Was it a riding lawnmower? At least?
Yeah, Jacob was like the king of the lawnmower. I remember like you would just be doing that thing like 24/7.
Yeah,
dude, we
always,
bro. I love those lawnmowers.
Like 3 days to mow everything.
Oh,
by the time you're done, you had to do it all over again.
Yeah, especially if it rained or something. Yeah.
Oh, we'd milk it out for as long as we could.
Because you guys had to mow the field down by the lake, right, Jacob? Or not?
No, because we didn't really have permission at that point over there.
Oh, okay.
Like we just had permission. I want to say it was my senior year for the baseball field. Like just got permission to touch that field.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Because they were very against us at first. Because we tried and they kicked us off.
Yeah. Yeah. We had permission to play soccer there for like a few years. And then they kicked us off again. And they were like, yeah, no, y'all can't be over here.
I never found out who they were. They were just like some mysterious farmer guy who just
it was like that
all control of that land.
Yeah, they were nice. We met them.
I never met them. Okay.
I mean, we fished. There was one, I don't know if it was a Father's Weekend. I think we fished that pond.
Yeah.
Stocked, fully stocked. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
But like that was like we had to get permission from them. Then Chef Mark asked us to bring fish back, and we were like, "What? Like, no, we don't want to eat this for dinner." Like, but
he's like, "I just want something fresh."
I just want to kill something.
It was like we had. Say it was like my senior year. We just had permission for the baseball field, and then to play ice hockey.
Oh yeah. About that.
But
did the lake freeze over, pond freeze over or something? Or?
Oh yeah, you could skate all the way across it.
I didn't know Indiana got that cold. Okay.
I wonder if it's been cold enough because over here the lakes haven't been freezing in the winter.
In New York.
Well, so
not really.
We also had
summer is coming
effect from which y'all probably did too from Lake Michigan though.
We didn't get the lake effect.
Oh, see, we'd wake up with 12 inches of snow.
No, we don't. Not here. Not in New Hampshire. Neither of us.
A couple of us would get woken up to go plow snow in the old red truck and scoop snow up.
Yeah, wasn't that crazy?
All
of
the visitors that we had.
We used to wake up early. They'd have like shifts of people waking up early to go shovel snow.
Oh,
New Hampshire got record snow one year. I think it was 2008 when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was your senior year, Spencer.
I think I remember that. Yeah,
we had like so much snow.
It was ridiculous.
I forgot like how many hundreds.
It was like
of inches.
up to like you walk into the chapel is like up to your head basically. If I recall,
it was bad, and
was really
that year people would wake up early and go shovel. Not me. I would wake up and go to the kitchen.
Oh yeah,
no, it's better. Yeah, spent too much time there.
Pretty sure the snow is better.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I had to share a quick lawnmower story.
Okay.
I don't know which lawnmower did you have the Cub Cadet ones, Jacob? The yellow ones?
Dude, we had so many different ones donated to us.
Oh, okay. Well, by the time I got there,
they would work for like 2 mows and then they wouldn't work again.
What?
And well, they're just like people in the city, the town that we're in would donate it, or like a family that lived by, they'd give us their old one. And they were all
falling apart.
Yeah, like I remember the Cub Cadet. We had a John Deere for a while, but I mean, every time I was going out to mow, it was a different mower.
Yeah. So my favorite was the yellow Cub Cadet 0-turn. And I just would drive that thing around because like it was just like my car. I don't know, just all around the property. And one day some superior told me, hey, I need you to there was some brush that needed to be cleared, like far down by the driveway. I need you to bring it from there all the way to some fire pit. I was like, okay. And so I got the zero turn and I ratchet strapped a canoe to the back of the zero turn. And I hauled this canoe with the zero turn all the way down to this brush pile and started piling brush into the canoe and thinking like, this is just a totally rational thought. Like, I needed a trailer. And so I'm buzzing back to the brush pile. And sure enough, as I'm crossing the sidewalk, Father Ronald is guiding a family on a tour. And I'm just zooming like the zero turn with a canoe full of brush in the back. And I just give him a wave and I'm like, hey, and I just buzz on by. Like, yeah, I had a good time, man.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of times those weird moments or encounters with walkers, we would call them, like when as a family visiting, we call them walkers.
That sounds
The white walkers.
Like, cause people just be walking around in the houses and like
Mind the
praying
walkers.
or doing stuff, and they would just be walking and they wouldn't say anything. So you're like, oh, they're walkers. And like
love that.
one time my parents were parked in New Hampshire. They parked on the road, and the pre-candidates started lining up right outside their car after Rosary. So like, because they parked like right where they line up, and like they like lined up around the car. Like,
they started singing Christ. What the hell? We're gonna get
terrifying to think of.
What the heck? That was the origin. That was the origin of the walkers. Because my parents were just sitting in the car waiting for me, and then all of a sudden these pre-candidates just swarmed the car in their lines. And none of them are like making eye contact. They're not acknowledging the car at all. They're just like quietly looking down. My family was like, is this a joke? Like, are they joking?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So a lot of the times that was endearing, like just seeing a pre-candidate strap a canoe to a pontoon boat to a truck and just driving around with a straw in his mouth and like a cow in the back. It's like, oh, they're doing their thing. Like, okay.
Yeah.
My son can live here.
Like, sure, I'll donate them, $10,000, whatever.
Yeah.
Jacob,
They obviously need it.
do you remember the green tractor, Jacob? Did you ever get to drive that thing around?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
He's like, I wasn't supposed to.
The only person that was really supposed to drive that when I was there, and a few of us got into it, was John, the handyman that we had. I don't know if he was there.
I remember
when
Mr.
y'all were.
Is his name John?
Possibly.
I don't remember.
Kind of rough around the edges.
I don't remember him. No, he might have been gone by that time.
I don't even remember John. Who was that?
He was when we first started.
Yeah, that must have been before me. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been before you.
Yeah.
Possibly, but like when we got it, like he was the only one that was allowed to drive it.
It was probably new back then.
Brother. You know what?
Yeah, by the time it was probably new back then. By the time we got to it, they were just handing out the keys. Like, this is beat up.
Yeah. By the time I left, it was pretty rough. We would take it to the first and second woods all the time to clear brush and do whatever.
I think so. We had quick story about that. We had we did an Olympics. Riley was there. Ramon. We were transporting kids around in the back of this. So the green tractor was not a huge tractor, but it had some get up, because like when you let the clutch off, you could really get going for like, I don't know, a couple of seconds. Then the gears would kind of just level out and it wouldn't be going too fast. But so we were just carrying kids around, transporting them around the property in the back of in the trailer at the back of the green tractor. And I remember at one point we had there was like I guess we didn't do sock balls at Sacred Heart. We just did like, I don't even know, like capture the flag or something we were doing in the woods. And I remember
we had paintball for a while.
Yeah, paintball for a little bit. But I remember at one point we had I'm in the green tractor getting ready to just take another load of kids somewhere. And all of a sudden I just hear all these campers just running out of the woods. And apparently the counselor said like, oh, there's the flag is actually at the other side of the property. Go run and grab the flag. And all the campers or I think it might have been Apostolics, just start running out of the woods. And I'm in this green tractor, and I'm looking at some of them, like the kids that are coming out first. I'm like, get in the tractor. So I'm just like, I ended up getting like, I don't know, 10 kids in the back of this trailer, and we're just taking off, going to get this flag. And there was other kids who wanted to get on the trailer or the tractor because they knew that would be the faster route. So they're like running alongside the trailer as I'm going full speed, hopping in, pulling other kids out, trying to get to this flag. And I remember just looking back and being like, this is the best. Yeah. Good times.
Good thing moms don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Be like,
so many violations.
It's like Hogwarts. We just did not care about child
safety.
Literally could kill people at any
You all
time.
remember?
Sacred Heart was
Jacob will remember this. Father Bayers just straight up shooting bottle rockets at us, like when we were having like lunch and breakfast. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
He was
I'm gonna fire off, brother.
Okay, let's just be real.
Popping them off randomly.
He had to be on something.
100%.
He had to be on some good stuff. Like, he was so cool. Like, just freaking fireworks. He would just shoot them at people.
I felt like none of the rules applied to him.
And he would just be laughing his head off while he did it.
That's not the first time I've heard that. He did that stuff at like in Wisconsin, I think, when he's on vacation with the humanists or something, or like
let's put out a thing. If you have a crazy Father Bayers story, please call in or like let us know. Like, I want to hear all the Father Bayers stories that are out there.
Send it to us.
So it's not a crazy Father Bayers story. It's a great Father Bayers story. So those who know Sacred Heart know the dunes, and we would go hiking at the dunes like all the time. That was like our thing. God. And so in the summers, it would just be like, we just go there and we'd swim basically. So it was cool. And so it's one of these summers, I think it was in either 7th or 8th grade. And me and 3 other guys, we just got lost. We like got hopelessly lost on our way back from the beach to the bus. We were just like lost. And long story short, we make our way back to the highway and we're like, okay, let's walk back to the school. You know, like that was our last resort. Like, we were like, we're going to walk back to the school. And we're walking on the road and Brendan Lecomte is like, I don't know if you guys know the Lecomtes, but he's like,
Lecomte.
Oh my gosh. We need to start praying the rosary. And the rest of us were like, okay. So we just started praying the rosary, walking on the fucking highway. And like, and we're just walking, and we must be like 100 Hail Marys in. We aren't even doing decades at this point. We're just going, and we hear like this car honk, and we're like, what? And like it stops, like it turns around and comes back towards us, and it's Father Bayers in this car, and Father Bayers finds us on the side of the highway, and we're like, oh my God, we like run to him, we're like, literally fall down on our knees. We're like, oh my God, we're so sorry we got lost. And he's just like, oh brothers, don't worry, just get in the car,
We'll get ice cream.
And he takes us to get ice cream.
Oh my God,
ice cream.
Called it. You fucking called it. Oh my God.
He takes us to get ice cream, and we have ice cream, and we're like, oh my God. And Father Timothy Walsh, who was like the scary one, he was like the scary one at Sacred Heart. Like, you know, Father Byers called him. He was like, oh, don't worry, I found them, whatever. And he shows up and he just gives us the fucking evil eye. He's like, he just looks at us like, you are so lucky Father Byers found you. And we're just
Father Timothy had looks to kill.
Certified.
It was like, I don't know. That's my favorite Father Byers story by far. It's just like we get hopelessly lost. We're gone for like 4 hours, and he takes us out to get ice cream.
Don't worry, brother. I'm here, brother.
Yeah, he's a true hero. Yeah,
he's just like he's the grandpa. Like he's like, ah, that's fine. We'll go get ice cream.
Yeah,
you're alive.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of those old legionaries really had a rough time, and I don't know, like they were in it for like 40 years, 50 years. It's so long.
Yeah.
Still going. As far as I can tell, I hope he's still good.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I feel like he's just like, I don't know. Yeah, you never know with these old legionaries, you know, like some of them maybe like knew stuff before, maybe like some of them didn't, you know, who really knows at the end of the day. But like, I feel like with him is just, he's like on his own level with everything. I don't know.
Whatever he's taking.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, yeah, I think he's got to be.
Father Victor microdosed whatever he was on.
Father Victor microdosed. That's definitely true. He got stuff done. He was definitely.
Father Barrows was shit faced, and Father Victor's like, "Whoa, you're crazy, bro. I'm just gonna take a little bit." Because neither of them, it felt like the rules applied to neither of them, dude. Like Father Byers might have been waking up at 10 in the morning. Like, who knows?
Yeah,
like,
that would be something he would do.
Yeah. Father Victor was just trying to get through the mass as quick as he could to get to those chilaquiles. I mean, neither of them gave a fuck, dude. Just didn't care.
I remember Father Bears would always try to hand out feast days too. He'd always
It's like, you're not a bishop, you can't do that. Like,
well, but so
whenever
like the early days of Sacred Heart, he would show up, and I guess back there he was like some kind of quote unquote superior or whatever. So he would just show up. He'd be like, "No classes this afternoon. We're all going to the dunes." And you know, Father Darren is like full on party mode. So he was like, "Okay, let's go to the dunes." And the teachers were like, "What the fuck?"
The teachers hated that shit. Like when Father David came in one day, I remember he's like, "Hey, we're just gonna cancel class for this today." Mr. Waterbury's face was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
he started.
How
like,
am
crying.
I supposed to get anything done here? Like,
he's young mom.
I'm gonna break through these geniuses.
Yeah, they're gel hair.
Let me draw Atlas holding Earth on the whiteboard before they come in. Let me do that. That'll help.
Speaking of dedication with these ICUS teachers, I'm gonna forget his name now, but when ICUS closed, one of y'all's teachers who was probably there when y'all were there,
Mr. McCarthy.
Maybe
big guy.
What do you look like?
Yeah, big dude.
Oh, Mr. McCarthy.
Dan McCarthy.
Yeah. He actually came over and started teaching at Sacred Heart. He migrated to Sacred Heart for the Apostolic School experience. I was like,
yeah, he was one of the OG teachers. He's a legendary guy.
There was a thing he would do once a year. He would just like scream.
He could clap with one hand.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He would arg at you, and then double arg.
His voice was so loud.
His voice was very loud. He would, he wouldn't stutter. He always had a word. And he was literally a walking dictionary. He was. I don't know. Nice man. Mm-hmm. Despite looking like he could tear your face off.
Yeah.
With one swipe, Yeah,
he had the hands of a bear. He was humongous.
He needed those hands for holding dictionaries.
You know what they say about big hands.
Read them. Yeah. Big brains.
Of course.
I remember him reading a Latin dictionary one day, and then we were all doing some work and he was just reading it, and you hear him go, "Oh, He just keeps reading. We're like, what? Like he was learning while reading a Latin dictionary. Yeah. He's like, oh.
Oh man.
And I asked him about a random, like, I had a Russian verb book that I was reading through, trying to learn Russian verbs. And he was like, oh yeah, here, let me show you something. And he started explaining conditional verbal use in Russian to me. Like he just knows everything. It's ridiculous. But anyone who has him is lucky. For sure.
Yeah.
I miss that man.
Yeah, I missed out, I guess.
Yeah.
Same.
He was a really good teacher. He would make us learn poetry too.
Who was your favorite teacher? Ramon, who was your favorite Sacred Heart teacher?
Oh man, that's a great question.
Hobbs or Murph?
It's gotta be either Hobbs or Murph, it's one of the two. It's what it comes down to. I think at the end of the day, I have to say it's got to be Murph though. It's
there it is.
Such a dude. If Hobbs, if you're listening to this, I love you, man, with my whole heart. But Murph had like that crazy scientist vibe that it's like, I don't know.
It was so James and Spence. Mr. Murphy was like 5 foot, Irish, white hair, fireball. Like super smart though, like, but he had a story for everything.
Everything. Oh
like,
my god!
Whether he made it up or not, would never know.
Yeah,
it was a true story if he told it.
I
love that.
I think he was a science teacher. I don't even.
Did he have an Irish accent?
No.
Depending on the day. How mad? How mad we made him by calling him Murph Ball.
Even their names sound like fun teachers, like Hobbs, Murph. Like I'd want to study with those guys.
Yeah,
they were cool.
Yeah, old Murphy.
Yeah, he took us out to oh, he was a history teacher, I think, and science.
Yeah,
biology. I don't know.
Well, did y'all have Wadley?
Yeah,
Wadley was just a great, like, as a teacher, great teacher, honestly.
Yeah, he and I didn't get along.
Sure. He didn't get along with
He's a tough dude. He was a tough guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not the academic type. Like, he's the one that taught us like Euclidean geometry.
Oof.
Like that was his thing.
And he would get so excited about it too. He would just like, why are you so excited about math, man?
Mike, thank God I only have you for 2 classes a week. Like, give me Dunlap, give me Hobbs, give me Murphy.
Dunlap, what's? I haven't heard that name in like years, man.
Don't know.
He wasn't there when I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He was awesome.
Yeah.
Probably the best English teacher I've ever had in my life.
He was good. He left when I was in like 9th grade, I think. I think he left to be like a principal of like some Catholic school in Wisconsin or something. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Dang. Probably a step up in pay.
Yeah.
Anything to step up a pay.
I can't imagine the Legion ever paid them well. Which makes me wonder, like the guys who've been doing it for how many years? I'm like, how do you have 10 children?
Right.
Well, they must invest in crypto. That's the only explanation.
This was before crypto.
Ramon,
before your time.
Ramon, did Hobbs ever play basketball with y'all?
No, he didn't. We tried to get him to play basketball with us so much.
What?
Straight baller.
Seriously?
Dude he was, oh my gosh. 80 shot on the court.
And then because you guys would play soccer with Hassett too, right?
Yep, Hassett would play with us every once in a while.
Was cool.
That's cool. Yeah, no, we never.
We'd have Hassett, but Hobbs and Wadley too could play basketball.
Oh yeah.
Now that you mentioned, I remember Hobbs being super big on his free throws. He would always tell us like back in whenever I was a free throw champion in Kokomo.
He could walk to a free throw line blindfolded, turn around and make that shot.
Yeah.
Just gifted. Well, so I don't know if it was my senior year before that. It had to have been before that, but they had like I don't know if it was Random Christie or just like a men's group that Hobbs was a part of, and they'd come to the school and play basketball. So a handful of us would sneak out of the dorms and go watch them play because they'd be playing at like 9:00 at night.
Yeah.
And so we'd all sneak out and go watch them play. And he'd never say anything. He'd just let it happen. But we got him to play a couple times. It was pretty fun.
Can't imagine sneaking out of a dorm.
God
Yeah,
forbid.
it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all. We did it a lot.
Yeah, I don't think we'd get far in New Hampshire because you had to leave the building and people could hear you leave.
The whole thing is it's all one building.
And I don't know if you could have gotten back into the dorms because the doors would have locked behind you.
Yeah,
that's what I was
like a rock in there or something.
Yeah, or a sound.
Well,
I mean, I don't know what your dorms were
which
like,
year it was. Because the first year we were there, we slept where the conference room for y'all was, right by the chapel.
Yep, that's right.
Our first year, and I think into our second year, that was our dorm.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
I remember being a visitor when and like going up to see Ryan, Jacob.
Yeah.
And like y'all were sleeping still there, and they had those like nasty bathrooms. What was on the second floor?
God.
Yeah. Before the whole remodeling happened, and like we were literally walking through the front hall on like there were pieces of plywood that were put down because it was like
because we ripped up all the flooring.
Yeah.
Monsters.
It was a rough time. So that bathroom, oh my gosh, now that you bring that up, was the worst thing ever. Because was it? Was it the second or the third floor?
It was the second floor.
Main bathroom.
Wasn't it the second? No, it was like
before
where the father's bathroom is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like that same space. Basically.
Yeah,
okay.
area. It was disgusting. Like our flooring would. So before all the renovation was done, I mean, this building's forever old, like World War II or World War I think was the history back to it. It's old, but there's no insulation, and all the windows wouldn't shut all the way, so the floor in the winter would be a sheet of ice. It's like you had to walk and hold on to stuff when you walked into that bathroom because it didn't drain right, and then literally just be a sheet of ice down the whole bathroom. Like you could slide to the last stall. We didn't have hot water for the first year and a half. Yeah, it was the worst thing ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like there's like probably still soap on that ground from like the year before. You couldn't clean it out.
Did they tell you, Jacob? Did they tell you were just like the co-founders who didn't have like hot water or just like the founders?
We were like the founders because we were co-founders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just like the founding legionaries who didn't.
You're
have
my nuestro padre.
Honestly, yeah, they're always like, you're founders. We're working stuff out, and we're like, y'all should have had this worked out before you brought people here.
Yeah.
Like we're getting asbestos from y'all ripping these walls out and finding
I had no idea.
Yeah, like we helped with some of the demo. We're allowed to take out some of the walls on the second and third floor when they were doing all the work. But it's fun.
Sounds like free labor.
Oh,
the whole thing was free
labor. Free labor galore at Sacred Heart, man. I can't even tell you how
courtyard.
The courtyard. Have you been, Jacob? When was the last time you were back there?
Let's see. I graduated in 2009, so I went back a year later, and that was it.
Okay. So let me tell you all
11 years.
Let me tell you all of the free labor that happened. And I'm not. It was fun. It was good times while we did it. But the conference room redone totally. The family room redone totally. The band room totally redone.
Yep.
The
Family
games
room,
room,
is that
the
right by
pre-K
the front
games room.
entrance?
Sorry.
Family room, right by the front entrance.
Yeah.
That was
So we like
the
put,
new
like,
bathroom
wood
and stuff.
paneling.
That was
So
when
all
I
these
was there.
rooms we put like either wood paneling or like tile on the walls and just a total redo. Like we redid the games room, we did the bathrooms and like this is like us doing it, like doing the tiling and the grout and stuff like that. Like
Oh my God.
Yeah, like the bathrooms in the second gym, the bathrooms in the school building. Like
I forgot about that.
We did, and like we
second
did brick
gym.
pathways in the front, we did brick pathways in the back. Like we worked a lot there.
Painted the pantry, remember that?
Yeah, we painted the pantry.
Oh, that needed it. That needed it. I think the whole 3 years I was there, it was just black floor because like we ripped up the flooring but never got down there to do anything. So it's just that black floor is always it's like a cellar. And it had like the one window under the, which would have been right by the courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like looking at the outside of it.
Yeah. You look at the outside of it because you'd go down the spiral staircase in the back corner of the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
dude, that thing was
dragging
trash bags down that. You ever drag a trash bag down that and have it come all like just rip apart?
We used the dumbwaiter.
That's smart.
I
did that too. But sometimes you didn't want to.
Before, I think we were allowed to write it down.
Yep.
So yeah.
There was one time
I forgot about that till just now.
I was washing dishes one time, and we were trying to get super hyped up to get the dishes done. And all of our team got into a circle. We were like, 3, 2, 1. This is Sparta. Like super loud for no reason in the dish room. And then Father Ronald comes running in. He's like, Will, get in the dumbwaiter. And I was like, what? So he was just so mad at me that he put me in the dumbwaiter and lowered me down halfway. And he was like, I'm not going to let you back up until you think about what you did. You disrupted the community meal. I was like, what?
You should have kicked him into the dumbwaiter. Yo, this is Sparta.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so he waited like 30 seconds or whatever, then pulled me back up. And he's like, don't ever do that again. Okay.
I did.
Yeah, crazy,
I'm trying
man.
to think of what else. Because my senior year is when we moved into the basement. I don't know if y'all were ever down there.
Man. Oh, yeah. That was the guest dorm.
The old auditorium.
Yeah, that was the guest dorm when I was there.
Yeah, that was
did you ever move into the second floor, like the main dorms? Did you ever get up there? Okay.
Yeah, we were there for like a year. And then we went, when we became pre-candidates, we got to go to the basement.
Oh, cool.
Because all the guests, whenever guests would come, we would put them in what then was the game room for us, which was behind the gym. That room, the big room.
Yep. Yeah, it's the band room.
Which was like a break room.
Yeah.
At that time. What is it now?
It's the band room. It's where they practice band.
Oh, well, it was the band room, the break room, the game room, and guest dorms for us.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
And then we moved the break room and game room to the second gym at one point for a while.
Yeah, second gym still is a games room.
Is it? Yeah.
That's what Ramon was talking about. They redid the whole paint and they got it like looking real nice down there. Put like a big logo in the middle of it. Like it looks cool.
Oh no, it was a shithole when I was there. Pretty sure there's mold on the walls. But we just sit there and eat and play pool and ping pong for an hour every day.
Oh God, yeah.
Dang, I should have gone to SHASy, man.
Yeah. We only play games.
The bathrooms never worked.
Yeah, once a year, and they did it once a day for an hour. We might have gotten 30 minutes of game time once a year on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
No,
And,
our
like-
break room, like usually,
brother Brendan's giving you a shitty haircut.
our break of the day, if it was cold out, was
Love
at
you,
the
brother
game
Brendan.
room.
Machos.
Yep.
You were to have like pickup games of Fabito.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got into floor hockey my senior year for some reason. We when I think it was actually when Icus came over. Did y'all remember Spencer and James? You remember? Did you guys have like full hockey goalie get up? Because somehow when you guys came over,
No.
they brought full hockey gear, and so we had actual hockey sticks, goalie pads, and we just got super into floor
I
hockey.
can imagine it having existed.
You would have
I
had
don't
that
remember.
from when we were there.
We
'cause
never
had goalie
we
gear.
never had.
Oh, did you?
full
Okay.
goalie
We had
pads, no.
goalie gear, yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought it came
we
from
had goalie
Icus,
gear.
but I guess we found it my senior
We
year.
definitely
I
had
just assumed it
skates
came
and
from Icus.
pucks and sticks and stuff, though,
It's
right?
very possible that in the time since we left, there was a parent who for some reason bought a $700 pair set of goalie equipment, or
Right.
two of them. It wouldn't blow my mind if that happened.
No.
Do you
Yeah,
guys, do you guys remember when like superiors would play with us, would play like soccer with us and stuff? I remember very distinctly. So Russell Ward, Father Russell Ward now. I don't know if you guys
Shout out.
know him.
Yeah, no.
Shout out to Russell Ward. I love that man. But I like whenever he was our assistant as pre-candidates, and he would play with us a lot, like especially if it was soccer, because he was pretty good.
Too.
Like he was a good defense, he was a good goalie. And he was like kind of competitive, and so like he would play with us almost every time we played soccer, and it was like the teams would go up, right? The board with the teams with those little magnets, with your name on it. And the teams would go up, and it would just be like, whichever team didn't have Brother Russell would just get together and be like, guys, we have one goal to beat Brother Russell. Like that was literally like all we cared about. Like we're gonna beat Brother Russell, and
he would always stack his team. He would always stack his team.
He would always
stack his team.
Yes, yeah. But anyway, so if you could, and so that was why, because we were like, we're gonna beat him even though he stacked his team, and like those rare occasions when you could actually beat his team, it was like such a good feeling. And then and I remember one time I was like, I forget how it happened, but I think I don't remember if I slide tackled him or like I was like really kind of fiery. Will can attest to this.
Ramon has a street soccer vibe for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Might have thrown some hands.
Might have barrio,
Might have slit some throats.
Might have insulted someone's mother. You never know.
One way or another, like I forget what happened, but I went in cleats up, and he full on kicked the bottom of my cleats, and he was on crutches for like 2 weeks.
Oh, so you beat him.
We ended up beating him that time.
Goal accomplished.
Fantastic. But
mission accomplished. We got him, boys. Let's go.
Crutches for a week though. Nice.
But it was like, yeah. Or like sometimes Father Bayeres would play Fabito with us. It would just be like the most chill, fun games ever. Like,
oh, you have to be so careful with him.
He played with us too, I think.
Yeah.
He kind of shuffled around a bit. Yeah. He
And
had a pretty good kick.
Just what he says, though.
Yeah.
Brother, get open, brother. I'll pass you the ball.
Hold on.
Take a hit.
Yeah, we're doing visual bits for the podcast.
Yeah, follow us on YouTube. Follow them on YouTube. YouTube version coming out soon.
Yeah, right.
Well, so after listening to a few of your guys' earlier episodes, I was under the impression y'all were gonna start up an OnlyFans. I was all set and ready to subscribe.
We need to.
That's more Spencer's thing. He has to. He's working out the kinks on his first account, so we have to see how that goes.
Yeah,
we haven't figured out the pricing yet. How much? How much is one Spencer picture worth? When he sends it to you for free anyway, it's like.
Good times.
But shout out to our Patreon that's definitely coming.
Yes.
No, there's no Patreon, but
donations are accepted. I'm assuming
donations are accepted. I was gonna make up a handle name, but I can't think of anything funny. Yeah. No, we're not gonna talk about our Venmo accounts. The IRS is listening. Makes me nervous.
Speaking of the IRS, they actually shut down our little store that we had.
Really?
At the school. Yeah. I don't know if you heard about that, Jacob or Ramon. You didn't hear about that either, Ramon?
No, I didn't.
Dude, so I used to run that place back when I was there. I would go out and get the whatever candy and whatever and bring it back and sell it. And I go back like a couple times ago, I went back and it was just all kind of closed up. And I said, what happened here? And Father was like, the IRS got us. And I was like, no way. But apparently we were making so much money off it somehow that the IRS was able to pick up like this discrepancy in the books of Sacred Heart. Because they must have been making a killing off of it. I never saw the final numbers.
Well, of course they were.
If only they'd kept digging.
45 million a year.
It was a shell company. It was a shell company. But anyways, yeah, it got shut down. It's kind of sad.
Well, of course we were making a killing off it because it would be like we'd get whatever the free soda from the food bank and they turn around and sell that for 50 cents $1 a can. Like half of the stuff that they sold there was like the good stuff that they got from the food bank for free. Like,
oh, okay. That is a scam. That's definitely a scam.
We bought real food too, though. We did.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. From Costco
Takis,
for like 5 cents a unit.
Classics.
You turn around and make like a 300% profit on that.
Oh yeah. Enough for the IRS to catch wind of it, apparently.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't just write like donation. Like it's so easy.
It's so easy.
Like, you're a school, just make up a name. Say it was an anonymous donation. Aren't they nonprofit? I don't know.
I guess Father Bannon wasn't in charge of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So here's a question.
R.I.P.
Here's a question for you guys, James, Spencer, Jacob. Have you gotten the fundraising letters from like Cheshire or Indiana?
I get them from Indiana.
Okay.
No.
I don't get anything. They said, "Fuck you, Spencer. We're done."
Times.
I got a fundraising letter from like Cheshire, like to me, like not to my parents, like to my name.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't even pay tithes to the church because I've already put in my time for that, you know, like.
Yeah. Plus, you gave me 6 years of your life.
Money right now, like, no.
I gave you 6 years of my life. I think that's enough,
dude. For real, like. It was just for me. I just kind of laughed out loud. I was like, do you really think I'm gonna give you money? Like, I don't know. It must work for some people. I mean, like, they send out
the Knights of Columbus
right?
have tracked me through every house move. I get their fundraiser letters.
Oh yeah, the Knights. They're like relentless though.
Oh yeah.
You're still
they'll find you
anyway.
I am. Yep. Still making that, spending that $22 a month. That life insurance that I'm sure they'll scam somehow.
They got to buy the pancakes somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Have you boys heard about the the Cheshire reunion?
Oh yeah. So what's
June?
the deal with that?
I saw a post and I was like, that looks pretty cool. Apparently, like, it ends on the 20th, I think, or the 19th, whatever week that is in June. It's that weekend.
Are you guys gonna be there?
I'm probably gonna be there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, because
New York.
I mean, I live so close, so it's like,
sure,
might as well crash it. I think I think there's someone else we've been messaging. I think he's gonna go too. I'm gonna keep him anonymous unless he wants to, come on the pod.
Do a little promo.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna bring our own liquor, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
And we're not gonna let them tell us what to do.
Yeah.
We're gonna destroy a few vocations. So.
Oh, sounds
I'm
like
kidding.
a plan, dude. Well, so I actually brought this up to Will just the other day because it seemed because they sent out like this letter thing, and it was like, oh yeah, there's this like whatever priests in their midlife crisis reunion at the same time, or priests in their midlife. What is it? Priests in their
prime is what you're telling
priests
me.
in their prime reunion, like at the same time. So it felt like it was geared to like people, alumni of Cheshire, like who were 35 and up. That was just the vibe that I got. And so like, you know, like that's cool. It's a cool crowd. Like I wouldn't mind to be there, you know, and be a part of it and just kind of, crash it at the end of the day. But you know, with like limited time off of work and stuff like that, I would rather go to Cheshire for like to Indiana, for like the Indiana alumni get together with the option between the two, knowing I can only go to one or the other. So
sounds like a fun time though. I'm gonna see a lot.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me because it's 1 hour away.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I can literally just like leave if I want to, for once. But
I feel like I could Uber home.
Yeah.
Shots
but
fired.
If I had to fly somewhere, I probably would think second. You know, I probably wouldn't go, to be completely honest. But anyway, I don't know where Spencer went.
He had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna definitely stop recording here.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.